Hi, good morning. So the other day I was watching BB Craft and she made the cutest little banner box ever, so I wanted to make it, of course. And this was the banner box I made using her tutorial. It has a 4-inch paper clip, and then it has this lovely box. It's a pretty decent size. And if you see, I put some candies in mine and some money for my daughter's 38th birthday. So that'll be for her. And she knows what she's getting, so she's not too thrilled, but that's okay. And I thought it would be fun for my daughter because she does like to keep my stuff. Once the box is empty, she can just hang it up on her wall as a reminder of her birthday. Kind of like a birthday card. So I had so much fun with that. But the 4-inch paper clips are expensive, and I thought, well, gosh, I'd love to do that for everyone at work, for their birthdays or whatever. But it's kind of expensive because I work with a lot of people. So then I thought, well, maybe I could make it smaller. And so just using a regular 2-inch paper clip, I shrank her box down and I made this little tiny birthday box. This will be for a friend of mine. It has everything, and inside it has kitty cat pins because she works for a cat adoption. So I'm hoping she likes that. And then when she's done with it, she can either give it to her little neighbor girl to play with, or she can hang it up on her wall and remember that her friend, no guilt here, Liz, but remember that your friend of 60, oh my God, 3 years made that for you. I'm so bad. Okay, here we go. I had filmed this earlier, but my camera shut off, so I thought that was weird. But I'm going to do it again, and the advantage of doing this again is that I'm going to draw in the lines so that you can see them this time. Last time you couldn't. So we're going to take a piece of designer paper or cardstock, and it's going to measure 4 inches by 2 1/4. And then we're going to score it. So I'm going to put my short side on the numbers, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. I'm going to turn it short side against the numbers, and I'm just going to score at 1/2 inch again. The reason that I am turning it and flipping it in my board is because I have found that my board does not do things exactly. There'll always be something a little bit off, and then it just won't meet. Okay, so this is where I've scored. My next score lines, I'm going to put my long edge up against the measurement edge right here, and I'm going to score it 1/2 again. And then I'm going to score it 1 3/4. And I'm going to flip my board, not my board, my paper. I'm going to score it 1/2 and 1 3/4 again. And I will draw those in just so you can see them as well. And I'm not drawing straight because I don't want you to have to just spend your whole time watching me draw lines in. Okay, so these are more or less our score lines. So now I'm just going to fold them. And I did actually use a very thick cardstock this time. On the one that shut down, I was using my designer paper, and I'm going to use that again as soon as I get to the place where it broke. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, it's going to end up making kind of a pizza box shape. So we have to release and free our flaps. So let me put this down. All right, I am going to try to just make little tiny slits at the score line. Can you see? That's all I did, was I took out a little tiny V. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Now at this point is where my camera didn't work. So here we go. Here it is with my dimensional paper. Not dimensional paper, you know what I mean, my designer paper. So on each little score line on that 1/2 inch, I'm just notching out a tiny V. And I'll be honest with you, I think the smaller the V, the better it is, because then you have a better chance of squaring your box up. So all along the long edge, okay? The long edge. Don't do it on your short edge. I have this. I'm going to flip it and do the exact same thing on this side, just the long edge. I'm not touching the short edges. All right, so here I go. Oh, this side I'm doing a better job at, go figure. All right, now we're going to assemble our box. So I'm going to use, I'd really like to use our glitter glue just because it dries so freaking fast. But I'm going to use my Nouveau because I like it too. So on the outside, this is the side that I'm going to use for my box. So I'm putting glue on the outside. I'm taking my tabs and folding it in and bringing up my side and just holding it like that. I can't see the camera while I'm filming, so I'm trying really hard to keep it in frame, and I hope I'm doing an okay job with that. All right, now on the other side, exact same thing. I'm folding in my little front flap, putting my glue, folding up my side, squaring it, hoping it's square, and holding it for a moment just to kind of get that glue to seep in and lock. For my back piece, I'm going to fold my two side pieces in. I'm going to put glue on those. And I'm sure most everybody has made a pizza box before at one time in their life, but it's fun. All right, so holding one side, squishing it, holding the other side, squishing it. And because I did turn my box on the scoreboard when I scored it, my edges all line up, which is amazing to me because when I do it, you know, just going straight across, they don't. Okay. And now I'm going to do my top. I'm just going to put glue on the two outside flaps. And I'm going to line them up, squish, line it up, and squish. Now you might be noticing that I have a raggy, that's what I call them, I don't know what they're really called, little paper sliver. I can just boop, cut that off with my scissors, no big deal. All right, now this one will not have a thumb hole in it. Okay, now this is how I put it together. Put my little lid, boop, over the top of my box, just like a pizza. Oh, you couldn't see that, could you? Sorry. I'm using a different tripod. Okay, so putting it together, I'm just putting my lid right over the top of the pizza box. And there we have our box part. Now I don't have a finger hole in here. If you're brave or you have a tiny punch or something you can slide in there, or you were smarter than me and decided to put your punch in before you started folding everything together, cool. But you don't really need it for this size. All right, now I'm going to make my banners. And for my banners, I'm going to use the same background that I used for the box, because I just kind of want everything to match. So I have two pieces for my banners, and my banners are, drum roll please, 1 3/4 inch by 2 1/4 inches. So in order to make the fishtails, I really hope that was in frame. Okay, so 1 3/4 by 2 1/4. And then to make the little fishtails in the banners, you need to find the center, and which I did on one of these, but I did such a good job of trying to keep my mark invisible that I can't see it anymore. So I'll do it again. Okay, So this is the back side of my paper. I'm going to find my center, and the center of 1 3/4 is not that hard to figure out unless you're me. So I just kind of like put it on my my glass mat here. I'll put it up here where you can see it. And I make sure I have equal distance on each line. And then I will come up 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4, so I'll come up 2. And right there is going to be my center. Right there. Haha. Okay. So now the way I'm going to make my fishtails is really super simple. I like this because it has minimal measurements. Okay, so I'm just going to take my scissors, square up my papers, go from this corner to my little 1/2 inch measurement dot. Don't make your fishtails bigger than a 1/2 inch. If you do, nothing will work. All right, and then I'm going to come from this edge and do the same thing. Now, if you're great mathing, you can measure it and do everything. Okay, so there we go, see? And this will be the side that is up. So that means on my back, this side is going to be visible on the back. But that's okay, that doesn't bother me. So now what I need to do is I need to make my layering pieces. My layering pieces are also 1 3/4 by 2 1/2. I'm going to use this side of the paper for the layer. So I'm just going to square them up. I'm going to look at them and see. I think I want this to be my bottom because I want some of that cherry cut out. So I'm just going to take my banners, put my banner on top. I'm just going to use it as an easy measure. And I'm going to cut up along that line. Just like that. Cut up along the other side. Just like that. Oops. I got nervous. Okay. There I have my banner. So now what I need to do is I need to make this just a little bit smaller. So taking my cutting board, I am just going to cut off, I think, 1/4 inch from the top. And so on my cutting board, yeah, it does have a 1/4 inch. So I'm just going to put them both down. I'm just doing this for the layering pieces. Okay, I cut off my 1/4 inch. And then I'm just going to cut 1/8 of an inch from each side. And so what I do is mine has kind of white paint, and then it's got the clear for the groove for the cutting blade. It's a little clear, and then it goes back to the white paint. So I'm just going to go over to the where the white starts here. And if you don't have a cutting board like this, just cut whatever you think is about 1/8 of an inch, okay? Just look at 1/4 of an inch and cut approximately half of that. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I really like 1/8 of an inch. I might do a little bit more. I think I'm going to do 1/4. We'll see how that looks. I'm trying to remember what I did on the other one. I'm not really remembering too well. So we'll do 1/4 here. And that way we'll just have more border of our designer paper. I'm going to do 1/4 here. So, okay, so I did 1/4 from the top, and I did 1/4 from each side. And I may find that I need to do a little bit more from the top if I don't like the looks of it. Okay. So there's my layering pieces for my banner. And so the first thing I'm going to do is decide which one of these I want on my front. And I really think I want this plainer one. It's got the pretty gold in it for my front piece. And I'm just going to put it right on. And this doesn't have great contrast. But this was actually the last bit of scrap I had in this pattern. So I'm going to put it on. I would tell you the name, but I'm not sure. I think maybe it's a Prima, but I don't know. Okay. So putting on my banner. Let's turn on another light, see if maybe that helps a little bit. All right. So there's my banner piece, and it's not quite straight. There we go, that's better. Okay, now I'm going to take my other banner piece, and I want this to show garage doors opening, husband's home. So with my box, the back part of my box is going to be facing the top of my banner. So I'm just going to put glue on the bottom of my box. When I glue my box onto the banner piece, I want to make sure I'm close to that little V, the little fishtail edge. And the reason for that is because I want to be able to open up my box and put something in there. See? So this is what I have. I didn't bother gluing this down because I figured, you know what, it's not going to show. So maybe I could use it for the back and do a reverse thing, but I don't think so. On my other one that I showed you, the birthday one with the gold, I had gold on each side, but my borders were thinner. So my layering piece was larger. Forget I said anything. All right, now I'm going to put glue on the top. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, let me do my loops. So I have two pieces that are 1/4 by 1. I'm just going to fold them in half. I'm going to take my gold paper clip, and I'm putting it on the side that's totally closed. Just like that. And I'm just going to cut them down a little bit because they are a little bit too long. So actually, if you wanted to, you could cut yours maybe a 1/2 inch shorter than the measurements I gave you. All right, I'm just laying them on my box to see where I like it. I think that's about centered. So I'm going to put a piece of glue here so I can adhere the edges together. I'm just gluing the edges down at the bottom. I'm not gluing all the way up. And then I'm going to put glue on the back, right down at the bottom. Taking my box, I'm going to line everything up. To where it's pleasing to me. As that's drying, I'm going to take my top layering piece and I'm going to stand up and just center this the best I can over the top, remembering that I want that box near the V piece, and then I'll just mess with it to try to even it up and squish it down. And if you notice, I can open my box just fine. The back piece clears that. And then I'll take a look at this and see if I want to layer it. I really don't. I don't want to layer that. Okay, and there is my little banner box. And I will decorate it in just a moment. It's time to start decorating our box. So what I did was I just kind of looked around on my desk because, as you can see, it's a horrible mess. But I thought, well, I'm sure I've got something I can put on it. So I found some little, oops, leaves. And I found this. I had gotten this in a swap a long time ago, and I love it. And she got it off of AliExpress. And I think it's so cute, these little tiny cameos. I want to use one of those. And then I found this butterfly. He was just kind of floating around under a box. I figured I'd use him because I'm a butterfly person. And then I made a whole bunch of little flowers. And I thought, well, I'm going to use those little tiny flowers that I made. Let me find a tweezer. Because let me tell you, some of these are dinky tiny. See how little that one is? I'll put my big fat hand under it. It's tiny. So we're going to use those. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball this and see where I like it. I like it like that. So I'm just going to glue that on. I am going to cut the extra piece off after I've glued everything in place. It just works better for me that way. You do it how it works well for you. I need some glue on this piece. I just kind of put glue everywhere because, you know, I'm just going to cut off the extra anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, I kind of liking it. And maybe I'll, there we go, I'm kind of liking that. I'm going to leave these pieces hanging over because I think they're pretty. And I'm just going to come up the side of my banner and go snip and snip off that excess. And I'm going to let that dry a little bit. Then I'm going to look at my flowers. I'm going to start with a bigger flower. He's not big, he's bigger. I think I'm going to put him right there at the base. Because I do find that pleasing for me. And I just put on a big dollop of glue. My flowers have been shaped, and so I don't want to squish them down. So I'm just putting on enough glue that it grabs them. And next, we need to put on some little flowers. Let's just kind of audition them. I love that word. And see where they look like they could go. Here's a little tiny one. Maybe we put him there. I'm not liking that. So let's put the bigger one at the base and the tinier one maybe up near the top. That's in too much of a line for my liking. Excuse me while I get my fat head in the way. We'll see what this looks like. Let's put the butterfly. He might tell us what to do. Put my butterfly there. I'm making sure that this wing right here doesn't extend beyond the edge of my top of the box because, you know, I do want to be able to open it. And then I'm going to put that right there. Let's see what that looks like. And you know what? I'm going to put her at an angle, I think. There we go. She's at an angle. And I think I like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to glue all that mess down. Now my flowers are dimensional, but if you were using flat decorations, you could just pop them, some of them up on foam if that's what you wanted to do. If I wanted to be extra fancy, I guess I could pop up my butterfly, but I don't. I kind of like him just as he is, so I'll just put some glue on him, missing the edge of one wing. Don't want to get glue on the, because the wing is going to extend out the side, or off the side rather. That's fine, I like that. And then my lady, once again, I don't know if I like her straight or if I like her more, oh, fiddlesticks, at an angle. We'll just see how she goes on when I dump the glue on. How about that? Dump the glue on. Put her on. She's at an angle. And then let's see if I have some more crap around my desk that we could maybe stick on here for kicks and giggles. I have some really pretty kind of Aurora Borealis type gems. I might add a few of those, just, I don't know, just to be silly. Let me see. So we could put one there. We could put one there. We could put one there. Go. We could put one there. And we could put one right there. And I want one more. Do not tell my art teacher I'm using an even number of gems. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to glue those in place with a dab of glue. Just like that. And what I'm going to do, except for I'm going to make sure that I don't put it on upside down like I just did. What I'm going to do, so you don't have to watch me put all these in place, I am just going to turn off the camera, get them glued down, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the final project. And here we have our little box. It's all decorated. We're just waiting for the glue to dry underneath all the flowers and the gems. But I think it turned out really cute. And as you can see, it really didn't take that long to make it. I did want to show you one other thing. So see this little jar? I just love it. It had like Pond's lotion or something in it. My work colleague, Carla, she gave this to me, and I put a little paper doll on it. And then inside, I told you I made flowers, right? So I like to store my little flowers that I've made in my box. And then that way they don't get crushed, if anything gets on top of them. And I can get to them easily. And bonus, I'm helping the world because I am recycling and keeping this piece of plastic out of the oceans, although it's probably recyclable. But anyway, I just thought I would show you that in case you needed some more craft storage ideas and maybe you didn't want to spend money on things that Dollar Tree has, such as, let me show you one more item before you leave me. Dollar Tree now has these candy things. Oops, I think they use them at weddings. They're plastic, you can't break them, so they're good for me. And I also have some flowers I received in a swap in this. I haven't decorated it yet, but I plan to eventually. Okay, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this brief tutorial on making this. I'm going to put BB Cats, I think it is. It's either cats or crafts. I'm sorry, BB. I love your channel. I just mix up names all the time. I'm going to link hers for this nice, big, beautiful one in the description box. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment and I'll be happy to answer. Bye.